found out yesterday that I needed to go to Tulsa today. So I was wondering, is it faster to get there by Cirrus or by Delta? So I checked Delta schedule, and to get there by Delta, I had two choices. I could either go 6 a.m. flight connecting through Atlanta or an 11 a.m. flight connecting through Atlanta. Either way, there would be a 2-hour and 53-minute layover in Atlanta. So I think it's faster to go by Cirrus, but we're going to find out. All right, time now is 7:57, almost 8 o'clock in the morning. And if I was going by Delta, I'll tell you how that would have played out when we get in the air. So let's go. All right, so we are climbing through 4,000 feet. We're on VFR flight following on our way to Memphis. Why Memphis? Why not? It's directly on my way, and it's a Class Bravo airport that I have been to.
Maintain 9,500.
9,500, 7 Juliet. I left at 7:57, call it 8 o'clock here. If I was flying Delta, there's no way I would have done the 6 a.m. flight because I wouldn't want to wake up that early. So I would have booked the 11 o'clock flight. And in order to get to the 11 o'clock flight, they tell you should be there 2 hours before. So I would have had to have been there at 9 o'clock, which meant I would have had to have left home around 8:30. So far, I left 30 minutes earlier from my house. And I'm going to track on FlightAware the Delta flight that I would have taken to see how they're doing along the way. And we'll see who gets there first. And then you'll know. Is it faster to fly Cirrus or faster to fly Delta? And by the way, when you fly Delta, you don't get the views like this. So I'm flying VFR flight following, level at 9,500, the weather is beautiful, and this is the way I usually fly. If you want to know why, check out my other video up here that shows you exactly the best way that I've found to fly long cross country. See, what time is it? It's 8:44, call it 8:45, and I'd be about halfway to the airport if I was going on Delta. But in the Cirrus, I'm already up to Valdosta, Georgia. So far, Cirrus has the lead. All right, time now is 10:30, and the Delta flight I would have been on is boarding now. So we're going to keep an eye on that flight.
Fast forward a little bit, and before you know it, it's time for our initial descent.
Memphis Approach, Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, 8,500.
Number 547 Tango Juliet, Memphis Approach, altimeter 3012, cleared to Bravo airspace. Cleared to Anna Bravo airspace. You're landing Memphis.
Cleared into Bravo 3012 and affirmative. We're going to Memphis.
Number 7 Tango Juliet, expect runway 36 center and not have a descent for you shortly.
We'll expect 36 center, 7 Tango Juliet. Well, that's kind of cool. On initial contact with approach control, he gave me the clearance into Bravo. So that's good. And that also is good that he told me already what runway I'm going to use. And based on where I'm going, I'm almost going to be lined up to a straight in for runway 36 center. And if we look at the map here, 36 center is a gigantic 11,000 foot runway. And while that seems crazy for them to assign the longest runway to me, the reason I think they did it is that the General Aviation FBO is at the end of that runway. So it'll make for the easiest landing, taxi after I land. So another interesting thing about this landing is we're landing on runway 36 center, which is a nice long runway, but unfortunately the wind is 170 at 8. So that means we're going to be landing with a tailwind and end up using a little bit more runway than usual. Since this is 11,000 foot, it doesn't matter. Realistically, the POH says that it increases landing distance dramatically with a tailwind.
Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, do you have Memphis Airfield inside off your 1 o'clock there, about 10 miles?
Affirmative.
Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, could be a park straight in 36 center, contact tower 119.7.
Over to tower 119.7 and 36 center, 7 Tango Juliet. Memphis Tower, Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, 10 to the south.
For 547 Tango Juliet, Memphis Tower, wind 210 at 9, runway 36 center, cleared to land.
Clear to land, 36 center, 7 Tango Juliet. So Memphis is an interesting airport. The reason it's a class Bravo, like all Bravos, because they're busy. But the reason this particular airport is busy is not because of commercial passenger traffic. It's because of FedEx traffic. And straight ahead, there are, must be the FedEx ramp. There's a whole bunch of FedEx jets up there. Time now, 11:30, and we have just landed in Memphis. And when we stop, we'll check the status of that Delta flight. They should have taken off by now, but we'll see.
Ground, Delta 82. Delta 82, Memphis ground. Delta 82, is there any plans to turn the runway around? Delta 82, not at this time. Okay, you're sitting right about a 10 knot to 11 knot tailwind? Yeah, Delta 82, at this time there's no plan to flip the airfield. Okay, yeah, we're going to be limited to a 10 knot tailwind, so if we can't get that, we'll have to go opposite.
All right, so time now is 11:39. We have landed. We're in the covered shade of the Wilson Air FBO. Now, let's see where the Delta plane is. That flight has taken off. They are airborne for the last 20 minutes or so. And now I'm going to take a break and have more than peanuts and just have a sandwich for lunch.
That's cool. We're going to take off on the same runway that FedEx jet is landing.
Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, Memphis Tower, ready?
Ready.
Cirrus 7 Tango Juliet, runway 18 center, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, 18 center, 7 Tango Juliet.
Cirrus 7 Tango Juliet, wind 1805, fly runway heading, maintain VFR at or below 3000, runway 18 center, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading, clear for takeoff, 18 center, 7 Tango Juliet. All right, so we're off after it's 12:30 Central Time, and after a leisurely lunch and a break in Memphis, I hop back in the plane and heading to Riverside, Tulsa, which is a smaller airport than the main Tulsa International, but it's actually closer to where I'm really going. Let's see where the Delta flight is. Delta flight, the second connecting Delta flight, hasn't taken off yet. Well, if I was flying Delta, I'd still be on the ground in Atlanta, just hanging out at the airport. So I actually think I will get to Tulsa before the Delta plane does. All right, it's 1:51, almost 2 o'clock Central, and I'm beginning my descent into Tulsa. Let's see where Delta is. Okay, look at that. The flight from Atlanta to Tulsa is delayed. They haven't even taken off yet. They're now expecting to take off at 3:45 Eastern, and I will be by 2:45 Central. I'll be settled in the hotel by then. I think flying by Cirrus won. I know, by the way, it was a lot more fun this way anyway. Even if it was a little longer, I still prefer to do it by Cirrus. Now, in general, Cirrus is never going to beat a Delta jet if it's point-to-point, but whenever you're going point-to-point and it's not a direct flight, usually Cirrus can get you there faster and closer to your actual destination. I realized this wasn't necessarily a fair fight because there was no direct flight from Daytona to Tulsa, but that's generally what I found. If it's not a direct flight, it's usually faster to go by Cirrus.
Cirrus 7 taking Juliet, you are number 1 to 1 on the right. Again, traffic off your left for the parallel.
Copy. Clear to land 19 right. Copy the traffic. 7 Tango Juliet.
All right, so official time, 2:05 Central, and the Delta flight has not taken off yet. It has been delayed. So clearly, flying Cirrus was the right choice today.
So here's the final breakdown. As you can see from the times, flying by Cirrus was clearly the winner on this day.